future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com. Love, it's not always an easy thing, but when you find it, there's nothing like it. And Finding Cupid with David CRUZ is here to help you do just that. It's a show where celebrity guests, singers, writers, and friends all come together to talk about one thing: love. Finding Cupid with David CRUZ, only on ubnradio.com.
And good morning and welcome to Finding Cupid Radio. My name is David CRUZ. A little bit more of a straight to the point show today. First and foremost, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is David CRUZ and I'm your host for this Sunday's Finding Cupid Radio show. As always, my awesome co-host Matt Wall is here with me as well. Welcome to the studio, Matt.
Thank you very much.
We're going to do a little bit of this yawn and stretch moment here. Pretty early, as always, on a Sunday. It's been a very interesting week. Where do we start with, how we even write the preamble to these last 6 days, this last week? I know that last week we went into the show. We talked about it here on the air, and we said we're so excited for the elections. And I think, like most of America, we were wondering, if we were thinking, hopefully, that we would come into the remainder of our week in hopeful spirits. We almost figured out what was going to happen. We knew. We had some expectations. We felt like this entire week would be filled with balloons and cheer and parades. The Cubs just won the World Series. The week was off to a great start. Yeah. We went away for my bachelor weekend this past weekend.
We were in Las Vegas.
In Vegas.
Living it up,
having a good time. And, we just thought, it's going to be a great week.
Yeah.
And it didn't turn out that way.
No.
So flash forward to the election and flash forward to the election. I don't even know where to flash forward to. But it was a very interesting night because we all thought again that we were going into a Hillary win. Mm-hmm. It seemed like that. And then it wasn't.
At what point did you start tuning in? Because I know you texted me and you were like, come over. We're watching. And I think I was like, what are we watching? Yeah. I, for some reason, thought we were going to watch a television show or This Is Us on NBC. And then I was like, oh, yeah. It's the election. Because I was out of town again. I was up north visiting my family in San Francisco, and they don't have TV. So I kind of was out of it for a second thinking, oh yeah, it's people like tune in, they watch. So I was kind of getting things from what I could stream live on my phone. CBS had a great feed going, and then I would check in the news posts. And so I kind of wasn't paying a lot of attention because once I realized things were going south, I kind of wanted to turn it off and not be, I guess, nervous the entire night. I just wanted to I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, this is such a weird dream.
It was very surreal. I think because we were all doing the same thing. We all sat down and we said we're going to watch the election, and we had a feeling about this is the way it's gonna go. Mm-hmm. This is the way that this is going to turn out. Saturday Night Live, if anyone tuned in last night, had a great skit. People were sitting down and they were like, we're so excited, can't wait. And then as the hours trickled by, it was a little scary because I think at the beginning, and it's funny if anyone had watched it, because at the beginning of the show, there was the one person that's like, I don't know. And ironically, my fiance was like, you guys, I don't know. New York Times is now saying this is a possibility. And he was like, no, it's not going to happen. This isn't going to happen. And as the hours trickled by, and with every weird election update flash in the pan, they do this crazy infographics that's like, whoosh, election update. Dun, dun, dun. With every one of those, it became more and more apparent that something very scary was happening.
Yeah.
And it started to weigh from your throat to the very bottom of your stomach. And it was the reality, which is what that weight was, that things are not going exactly as planned. And in your head, though, there was this weird disconnect of, wait, how do you put the two together? The reality and then the idea that somebody who is so homophobic, so misogynistic, so racist, so xenophobic. I mean, there's a list.
There's a lot of phobias.
And there's a lot of, and that's the only way for me to describe it is like, let's take the top 4 or 5 there, that somebody like this person will be in the White House. The long-standing 18-month joke of how the reality show businessmen with no political experience, and not that the lack of experience is a big deal, because I feel like we've had people who have come from inexperience before, but are good parts of change. But the fact that this person, could be the president of the United States, and now as we're going into the late hours of the evening, is going to be the president of the United States. That was scary. That was really scary.
Yeah, I could not stop thinking, like, what is Hillary Clinton thinking?
Yeah.
All night long. Like, how many times did she throw up? How many times did she burst into tears? How many times? Like, I honestly I felt so terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I could not stop thinking about her and what was going on.
Yeah,
in
to
her
be
little mind.
All of us have watched Veep. All of us have watched House of Cards. I think that as a person like me, we're sitting in there going, to be the fly on the wall.
Oh my gosh. I had friends in New York at her.
Yeah.
Like, they were invited to come be at this celebration, thing.
Oh, yeah. And then the news kept flashing back and forth to the Javits Center, where the Hillary, celebration was supposed to be happening. And it got more and more bleak and sad.
No talking.
It was not how we thought it was going to be. So today we're going to talk about all those feelings. Today I want to talk about what it meant to be in that midnight hour with all of us. And we have some amazing guests here today. And I want to talk with all of us about how we felt. As members of the LGBT community, and we don't necessarily love to throw labels out like that again, but, as members of this minority that we've become now, it's important to talk about the feelings that we've been having in the last week, because there have been some pretty depressing moments similar to breakups, and I can't wait to talk to those points. But first, before I do that, I'd love to now welcome to the studio some great friends of mine and ours here of the show. I'm so happy to have them, Brandon Liberati and Craig Ramsey. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. Welcome to the show.
Cheers, you guys.
With our morning
Cheers.
Yeah, guys. Welcome to the show. Super excited, per usual, to have you all. I reached out. This has been a weird thing this whole entire week. I wanted to reach out because, I feel like in the last few months, the last year, I mean, let's just rewind so far back as to this. You guys are on this Bravo show, Newlyweds, the first year. We're as a country in a motion of just going forward, and it felt so full steam ahead.
Yeah.
And, to be seeing and documenting a gay couple's first year was kind of awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and in my mind, you were like, we got this, kids. We got the marriage equality. We're working on transgender equality. We're just moving forward.
Not just your mind, but all of America. It
Yeah.
was incredible how much support we got and how many messages we continue to get
Yeah.
up until this last week, mind you,
Yeah.
on a daily basis that say, I was so wrong to vote against your marriage. I'm so sorry that I didn't support equality and marriage equality. And now radio's silent. Do you know why? Because we're fighting back now.
Yeah, and that's the thing that, and that's the reason why you guys are here. That's where I sent that text. I said, I got to have these guys back. And thankfully, you guys probably, I know you just got off of a flight.
Yes,
We were in New York
You were
for
fresh.
the entire situation.
So I want to understand that perspective, of course, being in New York too, but then also to thank you for being here, because I know that, you're like one of America's, married couples, as far as the spotlight is concerned, you're up there. And for
we
many
redeemed America's sweetheart gay couple
Aw.
with our show, which is great and an honor that we'll take. But people aren't thinking that we're so sweet this
Well,
week.
I
No.
don't think that that's true, but Craig and I
We
have a different
differ
approach
about this, so,
So-
get ready, guys.
All righty. So let's start here
ready.
then. I'd love to do a roundtable super quick then of this moment. Let's rewind to Tuesday night, sorry. And, it's election night. Where were you guys all at? Describe to me how you were supposed to take in the election.
We were actually watching it live at the YouTube space in New York.
Participating
Yeah.
at the YouTube headquarters, and it was such a joyous start to the evening. Everyone
Yeah.
was coming together, and we were excited, and we thought it was a slam dunk. Really,
sure did.
truly did.
Can I first add? Go back just for a second.
Yeah.
And you said that our momentum was picking up and everything was really good. The great thing that this has done for us as a community is now we've had a taste of what it's like to be equal. And you can't take that away from somebody. You
Yeah.
can't put people back in a cage. So now our community is actually prepared and ready for educate. We're ready to educate people,
Right.
And I don't like to use the word fight, but we're ready to educate. And that night was very disheartening because we were trying to figure out what all of these people that have shown so much love, half of America, well, the half that voted,
Right.
Because half of the people didn't even go,
Right.
But the half that voted, and a lot of these are our friends and people that love us,
Yeah.
expressed a completely different opinion in their vote of what they thought of us. So it was
Or
really
so they think they love us. I'm really aggressive about this. I'm Canadian. I was born in Canada. I came into the States in 1999 with that pre-Broadway cast of Mamma Mia. And I haven't left because I love this country. But as a foreigner coming in and already having marriage equality happen the year that I moved here, it was interesting to see how America proclaimed this freedom of speech, giving people the right to hate. And
Yeah.
with Prop 8 is when people woke up, because before that I kept saying, no, the KKK does not have a right to hold a rally. They don't.
Yeah.
Freedom of hate is wrong. And if that is how you're deeming constitutional rights and freedom, then you got to change it.
Right.
And so I said, Prop 8, you got to get angry. You got to be in the streets beforehand, and you got to
Right.
say, you don't have a right to even vote on my marriage.
Did we put away our flags and our marching bullhorns a little too early? I mean, because I know that we had said after marriage equality, there's still a lot of work to do. That was what we were saying within the community. There's still a lot of work to do. Our transgender brothers and sisters, still need our help. And there was that. And for a minute, even I was saying, is there still more to fight for? I had that question in my head. But now with all of this, it feels like I feel ashamed that I even thought that, because clearly there is a lot still happening in the United States that we need to be completely aware of and cognizant of every day as this small portion of the community that is being targeted. Because it's not just us. And I feel like we sit in this room today talking about being part of the LGBT community, but then, I think there's more people that feel depressed about this because it's women, it's minorities, it's Latinos, Muslims, it's so many people, poor people, black people. There's so many people that I felt woke up on Wednesday morning and were just shocked.
Or didn't sleep at all.
Right. Yeah,
most
one
of
of them.
us didn't sleep.
There's just so much irony and so many layers to this election that are very interesting to me, because us as a even minority or the gay community, the biggest group of people that had something to lose here were women.
Yeah. They were the largest group of voters too.
Well, and if you look at the entire cabinet that he's putting, the team they're putting together for him, some of them are gay friendly.
Yes.
All of them are not pro-choice.
Yeah.
So there's a huge discrepancy here with half the women voting for this person who is going to put a team in place that are against the majority of people is women's rights that they're against. We fall down in there. I know I've researched everybody's stance on everything from Planned Parenthood to marriage equality, and I could tell you, and I know the team he's putting together right now, we have that we should be nervous, but women should be really nervous.
Absolutely. And it's funny because and I want to dive into this deeper, but I think this was the first time that after a president has been elected that so many groups collectively felt like they lost something. And it wasn't just, and this was a very different election because, listen, I get it. I've been a hardcore Democrat all my life. I grew up in a Republican family. That's a pretty standard story for a young gay kid, I feel like. But military family, Republican family, Catholic family, that was my life. And I chose my path. But this and I agree with sometimes the things that Republicans say, and that's what makes our country beautiful, is that we're able to see that we're able to have differences and that we're able to come together, and that's what makes our country great. Now, the way our democracy is set up is that, it's set up so that we can fight for things and we win, we lose, but that's what makes the process great, is that we're able to get out there and to voice our opinions. Other countries, you can't do that. But with this particular election result, it was different. I didn't get a Republican president and go, oh, okay, it's fine. I don't agree with everything he says, but we will move on over the next 4 or 8 years. This particular president, I woke up feeling that I was sick to my stomach. I was, and I could only explain it. I blogged about this past week, but it felt like I was in a cloud this entire past few days. I felt like I got broken up with. I felt depressed. I felt sick. I felt the days were cloudy. There were moments where I was driving and I was just, I didn't know how I got from point A to point B. That same morning I was driving, to go grab coffee, and because we do that here in LA, we drive to get coffee. We don't walk. But it's rain. I was listening to NPR because then I've been, stuck to just news media too. And some random song started playing. I don't even know what it was, but I started crying. I just was like, I don't even know what the song was, but I was welling up because there was this deep feeling in my gut that the America that I knew does not exist. I didn't understand the America that I was in. I felt separated, and I want to go through all the feelings with you guys as well. But it was a weird thing. The last few days, I didn't understand the America that I was in. I felt like, okay, California went blue. I love everyone in California, but then all of a sudden, I had hate for all the other states that were red. Yep. I was like, anyone I talked to, if I saw a license plate from a state that went red, I was like, don't like you. I went through all these crazy, weird emotions, and I felt a little psychopathic, or psychotic. But I felt like I got broken up with. That was that last time that I felt like that was like when someone that I was truly in love with dumped me, and I was left with no explanation, and I was I was grieving. It was a series of grieving related emotions that I was going through this past week. Matt, I know you haven't talked yet, and you were out of town You were up north, right?
Still in California.
How
San Francisco.
how was it for you?
I felt kind of removed because, like I said, I wasn't watching television, and so just to like check in quickly on your phone is, I don't know. It's like you're getting mixed signals almost. Like this isn't real. Like because I wasn't watching TV.
You were with family,
And
so
I
you
was
were
with
out of
my
town.
family who was very Mormon.
Oh,
But they're also very progressive. And they didn't vote for Donald Trump. And they just kept thinking like, how, why, how is this happening? And I don't think they voted for Hillary either. I think they probably voted for Evan McMullen or whoever that Utah guy was.
Oh yeah, no, we saw Utah.
But they were also stunned, thinking like this is the person, which made me feel good, you know. And then we didn't really talk a lot about it, but I have all the feelings that everyone else had, and how like disheartening and as the week has gone on, and I have a lot of there's a lot of people on my Facebook feed that are Trump like supporters, and I don't feel like it even comes back to like, well, he's not taking away the rights of like gays and women and minorities. It's we just need change in government, everybody. Like it just comes back to like this one particular thing, like, well, we need a change.
So let's go to that then.
And they're not even like thinking about all these things that
The
he's
consequences.
been saying.
Right.
Yeah. And
or the path that led us to that.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's where now he says fight, I say educate.
But I'm tired of educating. I'm tired of it. Like, honestly, all the stuff that we get on our Facebook, and I just did a Facebook Live now, it's like, I'm done. I'm done going for dinner with you and explaining it. You have internet. You have Google in this country.
Yeah.
Do your research. Move past your selfish self and your money or whatever blinded ignorance that you're justifying with this, and understand that now we have a divide in this country of selfishness and equality for all people. And I'm not talking just LGBT people, because this is far exceeds that at this point. Who is our number one ally from the day one? Who do we count on? Straight women. We would not be here, all four of us, if we didn't have straight women in our lives
equality.
protecting us. So what happened to them? This is a wake-up call for LGBT to protect our women allies. They didn't vote the way they should have.
No.
Yeah.
This is the thing,
They
yeah,
have to
that-
protect themselves in order to be able to protect us.
We've told women, we're like, I mean, and I think as a gay community, we also need to really look at it. We would not have our rights if it weren't for our straight girlfriends.
Yep.
It's not straight men that got us marriage equality or that got out and stood up.
It's
and
great
fought
when
for
they
us
do. It's awesome when
But
they support
it
us.
was the women that got us, our friends, our girlfriends, that got us to where we are, and we're able to be who we are. And I think
these
that
are the
it's-
girlfriends that are saying, "No, you're not respecting me. You waited 8 years of Obama. I'm your friend. I'm your fan." No, you're not.
So let's go to that right now then. Let's go to the social media aspect of this, because I know all of us have been inundated, for the last 18 months, obviously of the election, with people posting their ideas and their support for different candidates. But I think
Scott Nevins with his
God bless him.
Yeah, I know, with his over support for Hillary.
I love
think
and
we can
bless
all
his
agree.
heart.
I don't follow.
You love Scott too. Scott, we love you.
We do love him. Yeah.
But
on both sides,
But
yeah.
that's what we do in elections. We choose sides, and we choose candidates, I should say, and that's great. That's part of what we're able to do here. We're able to voice our opinions, choose candidates, make change. That's what America is. We're able to do that. Again, a reminder that not every country is able to do this, and it's a privilege to have that. It's a privilege to vote. But as we got closer to the election, that's where things got a little sticky in social media. Things started getting uglier. They were ugly because in the last 18 months, we know what Trump stood for.
And not just Trump, but everyone that we knew he would now elect and put. And now that we have a Republican majority, we know what's ahead of us.
Yeah.
So it's not just Trump, because Trump himself, I mean, as Brandon says, he was on Sex and the City, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's
yes,
not a seasoned politician. These
No.
people are seasoned homophobic, misogynist
And
politicians.
so that's what
Yeah.
I want to go to then is the arguments on Facebook, the drawing of lines on Facebook, because I started to get pre-election, I started to get very frustrated with the fact that I was starting to get friends that were choosing the side. And then it was like, at first it was like, okay, fine, choose your side. I'm okay with it. But I think that when it didn't go the way that I wanted to, I became the person that drew the line, and I started to go, okay, delete.
Yeah.
And those people started to go and then get really angry on my feed.
Totally.
And to say, and people that maybe, I don't know about you guys, I mean, you're in public eye as well, but it's like, they'd make a comment, and it's like, I'm not going to go there and have fights with people, but there would be people that I barely know that would strike very divisive comments and arguments on my Facebook or in my Twitter. And it's like, I don't know, especially Facebook, because I invite you into my living room with Facebook. If you're in my personal page, that's one thing, But if you're in that space and you're going to start an argument that's very divisive and criticize me for being a member of the LGBT community and not know me in the way that you should, it was heartbreaking.
The tables have turned, though. I got rid of a lot of clients.
Yeah.
I canceled all their appointments, and I told them,
You're
wish
fired.
you well.
That's what he said.
No, I actually called them up and said, I've canceled all your appointments on my books. I wish you well. We're not a match.
Bye-bye.
And it's time to start surrounding ourselves with people that support us. And here's the thing that I found with doing that and social media. The tables turned where they're like, no, you can't get rid of me. You're gay. I tell you when I don't get to like you or see you. When the tables turn and you're like, no, I'm gay and I don't want to talk to you anymore. It's a flip, and they're like, you have no right to tell me when we're finished. It's me. I'm the straight person. I'm the person that says when our relationship is over, because it's always been in the past that from day one of coming out of the closet, we're afraid of losing people that love us. We're afraid of not having friends. We're afraid of all of these people that aren't going to accept us, and we're going to be alone and abandoned and rejected. Well, I think that all of this stuff and the momentum that's happened with marriage equality and everything that's come to pass, we now have self-esteem.
Yeah.
And we have worth. And we have a lot of worth.
Options. We have options.
And I think
You're
that you
fired.
cannot take that away from us, and people need to get used to now. It's okay. I don't have to be mean and hateful, but it is okay to not surround myself with people that do not lift me up, support me, and make me feel good about myself. And that is my right.
And it's funny that you say that too. I was just telling Matt right before this that, I have a wedding coming up, first of all, and I'm sending out invitations and
We haven't checked our mail yet.
it's in the mail, kids.
Oh, it's your address again?
Right.
Sorry, it's a new phone. Lost it all.
Last gen.
But this happened to me. There were so many people where it was just like, I can't believe you're friends with me, and we're having a discussion about being my friend and you understanding. But this happened to me last night where, a couple days ago, where my publicist, I didn't even know this was happening. I don't know if she's even watching this now, but I have been hurt this last week. I have been very hurt about everything that's happened. As somebody who's getting married soon, it makes me feel like I was so excited prior to this election. And then going into the days after, I felt very betrayed. I didn't know who was on whose side. And then those things became very apparent. And I took it personally, of course. We all should.
Yeah. Because it is personal.
It's very personal. And my publicist, I won't say names, but I noticed that there was some weird rant that I caught in my feed. I'd never seen a rant before. Clicked on it and then went back to everything on the page, and it was just not the place that I wanted to be in. And without even questioning it, I was like, nope, I can't. Delete.
Great.
And she was invited to my wedding. And I feel very guilty for it. But here is what people don't understand, is that we may know you. You may be our clients. We may work with you. And many people, there was a girl that I work with too that sits right across from me. and who voted for Trump, and it may be easy for you to understand because you may be thinking that this is your vote to just move the dial and create change. I get that. But what you don't understand is that you are not the minority who has not had rights, who has been denied basic civil liberties up until recently. And for all of those, and I'm just talking about me as a gay man today, for all of those other minority groups, we now all feel the same because I felt that my future was in jeopardy. And I felt betrayed. And when I see that a friend, a coworker, or a client, it's part of that, part of the possible motion, the momentum, or part of being even associated with the larger group of America that feels that way. Because I'm sorry, you voted and you are all in that group. There's a lot of stuff in the news today about people who say, I voted for Trump, but I'm not racist. But I cannot swallow that argument whole.
Well, I think this is where we, and this is what I'm saying about educate, this is where we as humans and as a community, you decide whether or not this person made a decision that was uneducated or this person does not want to listen. They are so focused on whatever issue it was or reason that they voted for him. And if somebody's open and wants to hear and discuss it, then it's time to educate people. Because I've had people on, my mother posted on Facebook. She said, and she's in Utah, and she said, where I'm from, she goes, nobody talk to me about this election, please. She goes, I have 2 gay children. Yeah. My lesbian sister has adopted her son. Like, there's just a lot of issues that a lot of this group of people, this team that Trump's putting together is highly against.
Yeah.
Gingrich is not for adoption whatsoever.
Right, they're very anti-LGBT.
And she was like, because I have gay children and it's just not
heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking and they're going through a lot. So please respect that. So she had a friend write on her wall about, I'm really sorry that they feel this way, but this really is going to be better. He's going to help them.
It's not going to be better.
No, but I took the time to first of all post from Pence's actual website his views on LGBT, and I was like, no, Trump is not a politician. He's not. This team that they're putting around him, they are. And this is where it's like I had an opportunity, and my mom even said at first she was frightened because I wrote this. Then she read it and she goes, "You did it really lovingly, and I was really proud that you did it, and you did it in a way that this woman was not." She voted for just what you were saying, that she was being challenged some way in her life. She wanted to change. People are out there trying to survive. There's other people that don't have jobs, that
and I get this, and this is the conundrum that we sit with today, which is I understand the people who are in those states that don't have jobs. I get that. What I don't understand, which is the argument I struggle with every day, what I don't understand is that we have this candidate who has been highly divisive, who has been racist, misogynistic. I mean, all of these minority groups, when you look at this candidate, and I'm sorry I go to this place too, but when you look at the new First Lady, these are not the people who we identify with as people who represent not only America, but represent the institution of what our democracy is about. People who respect the institution. I don't feel that they are representative of that. And and this is, God, I feel like I'm getting so emotional right now too, and angry as I continue to talk about it. And this has been a week of me holding all of this in.
Yeah, people, what you don't understand is we've already shed the tears so much that now you're seeing us be able to speak about it without breaking down, but we've been breaking down all week.
Yeah. And again, I'm just speaking as the gay person. I know that women feel like this. I know that Latinos feel like. I know that Muslims. The other day I was like, God, this is what an undocumented person in the United States feels like. This is what a Muslim person feels like. The immediate reaction to, will he fulfill his promise to deport me, to, get me out of this country, to roll back everything that we fought for. And this is, for all of us as gay men and women within this community, I mean, we felt like things will be rolling back, and it was scary. It was scary for me as a gay man who is going to get married. Like I felt like taking off my ring. I felt like tearing up the invitations. I felt like this is clearly an America that's been lying to my face, I don't know who you are. And for somebody in my position who all I do is help, and a lot of straight men and women, find relationships.
Right.
All I do every day is hear straight men and women talk about their relationships, talk about finding love. And that is all I have done for the last, I don't know how long. And here I sit on Wednesday morning, completely upset and completely confused and completely just beside myself. And when that person comes to me and says, but I wanted change, or I'm not a racist, or I don't believe in the things he said, but you voted for him. And now the repercussions are, I as a gay man fear that I won't, I just don't know what the future is like, and I feel betrayed by all of you. So if you're a friend and you voted for him, please allow me this moment to not talk to you or to delete you from my Facebook, because quite honestly, I don't think we're on the same side.
And I think that is totally validated. And that's what I'm saying. I think that if we're not feeling supported, but if somebody approaches you and says, I voted for Trump, but this is why, and you're so upset, will you talk to me about this?
That would be a different story.
So those are the people that we need to educate. Otherwise, it's like, no, I really believe that we now, as a gay community, you guys, we design your clothes, we do your hair, we decorate your house, and this is the truth.
Great bodies.
But this is the truth.
Yes.
Now what we do, we have a responsibility. You better be putting transgendered and LGBT people in your fashion shows, in your ads. You better be sticking up for your community when you're talking to your clients, because now visibility is our number one fight against this, and being visible, and come out and celebrate, act like you're married, hold each other's hands, get people used to seeing this in public, because this is this is our responsibility now.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and it is our job to educate. And I think that if we're educating our friends and the people in our lives, I don't feel like deleting them and removing them is the proper way to go about it, because who is going to teach them the proper way to treat a gay person or to speak if we're removing them from our lives? I don't think that deleting them on Facebook is what I should do. I think I should engage with them, have a civil conversation. Obviously, if they're slewing,
But I feel like I'm a black and white person.
And
I feel like and this is just my feeling, and I hear what you're saying. For me, I felt like you had been lying to me for the entire time that you've known me.
Yeah.
And, I didn't rant this entire 18 months. I put one Facebook post up. Maybe I threw a little funny or die videos up every now and then. But I wasn't I wasn't like Scott, our friend Scott, who was just like every day. But I felt like when I discovered the rants, and when I discovered the strong opinion of somebody who I thought were friends of mine, I felt betrayed, because my response to remove them from my feed and to delete them as a friend from social media was because if you had been feeling like this the entire time, then I don't think that we should be talking in the friend space, if that makes sense.
I also think that through this time, look at Andy Cohen. We have on social media, we we're visible in a different way than a lot of people as well. And so when I have like Joanne from Mississippi, and the second I say I'm upset about Trump, and she's like, "You're a hostile, like, where is the?" And it's like, no, delete. You know, and I'm not going to engage. But like, you read Andy Cohen's feed, all of us, Anderson Cooper, anybody who is gay, or even who is of a different race, like some of the CNN reporters that are gay, Asian. Yeah. I mean, he's like, you know, this one reporter's post, he's like, look what I've been going through the last 18 hours. Yeah. And he put everybody's tweets on there, and it's disgusting. This did not give people a right to pull women's hijabs off their heads and tell them to go hang themselves because they don't believe. And this is what's happening. Swastikas in New York. Yeah. People are spray painting swastikas in New York. They're all over.
And that's what I'm concerned about, is because it goes back to that point of like, this isn't just, you know, one candidate won over the other. It's a very divisive candidate who ran on fear-mongering, who is now, I mean, this is never, I mean, look at America right now. We're protesting, we're rallying, and because this person became president, and it's because he has all of these personality traits of someone who has incited hate, incited fear. This is not, I mean, when the KKK comes out, who we all know as Americans, we can respectfully agree, fine, you have a right to say whatever you want to say and believe whatever you want to an extent. But if it incites hate, and if you're trying to roll us back to a time where they're marching and we're doing swastikas, what kind of country is this? Because it's not the America that we signed up for.
Look what people did to Mel Gibson. When he had an opinion about Jewish people. Hey, but
Mel Gibson isn't a manipulator. No. See, Trump is. He's turned the blindfold on people and been able to play everyone as puppets.
Sure.
So we're dealing with someone that is a master manipulator and has a party that's supporting him to be able to get to that platform.
I also, and I'm going to go with Hillary's campaign and Trump's campaign. They both agree on this. The media had they did a horrible job, and they really promoted a lot of this fear, a lot of this hate mongering. They would show a clip, and it may be one jerk in, you know, a rally, but they would play it 4,500 times in a row and make it look like the entire 2 hours was some hate monger.
But there was incentive, though, for them to do that, to try and reach sane people in America. And unfortunately, it didn't. It didn't work. We learned by mistake. The media did, too.
Yeah. I want to go back to the point, though, because some people are asking here online that, you know, can we, because I, of course, quick-wittedly, you know, I deleted. I can't, mostly because I can't have any more negativity in my social space. You know, obviously, if you're in social media, you put yourself out there for that. But it's also our right to try to not have, I mean, I don't respond to very many trolls online in any way, but I just couldn't do it on Facebook, and I can't do it on social media either. Or I'm sorry, on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. But can we still be friends with people? You know, like the people I've deleted. Can we still do that?
Are you asking, can we enable delusional love and support? No.
We have to, because if we surround ourselves in this bubble of love, whether it be in social media or just our friends or just our clients that only support us, 4 years are going to come around again, and we're going to think, all of my friends support me. Everyone supports me. All my clients support me. All my friends support me. My family supports me. And we only surround ourselves with this love. That's not what's happening. We're only preaching to the choir here on social media.
I agree with that.
And then it's going to slap us in the face again when we go out and vote, because we're like, everyone's voting for Hillary. Look, you guys. And they're not. We have to engage with the people that hate us.
But we did. This is the thing. We had a show. We were the first legally married gay couple to take America into our marriage. How many messages we've been bombarded with over the last couple of days. Let me speak. That we have been attacked, and that we have, and it's been, I'm fans of yours, I'm friends of yours, and if you say educate, then let's educate people. I agree with that. If we have the platform as public figures to maybe not delete, but if we at least state our thing and then let them rant, that's probably the happy medium here. Because if we're going to educate, we're going to talk about how these people said they related to us and they love us. So yeah, you can relate to us, but let me tell you the differences, and let's educate.
Yes,
imagine spending, as a straight couple, your entire income just to be able to be together and to be able to have children and still have those difficulties. Everyone wants us to have kids. Guess what? You just elected people that are going to make it impossible. It's going to cost $200,000 plus if we want to have biological kids. It's not going to be covered. Adoption, they're going to rip families away. We're not going to have these rights. It is going to sidetrack everything we wanted to do to just have a life that's similar to yours, and you derailed that.
I'm all for, and I just want to be 100% clear here. You know, I feel very guilty on specifically, you know, some people that I deleted, and I feel like I'm just going to take a moment and I've always said internally that I'm going to reach out to say to them, like, look, I deleted you from Facebook. I want to talk about why.
Is this your personal page or public figure page?
This, which one?
Are you deleting people? Because I mean,
personal.
There's a big difference between the personal one,
it's my personal
and a public
page.
Figure one. I mean, the personal one,
public figure page. I don't care.
That's
too
the
much.
one I'm talking about.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I'm blocking.
See, I feel like my personal page is even more. I feel like you're in my living room. You're on my personal.
Oh,
friend.
that's a no-brainer. I say delete and goodbye. They know who you are, and they're.
But my point being is that of the people that I do feel guilty about, that I have reservations about, I will reach out and say, hey, I want to let you know. I don't want to go cold turkey because I feel like that's too much. I want to at least have a dialogue about it. And it may go one way and it may go another. But to Matt's point, you know, maybe there is some education, into Brandon's point, you know, maybe there will be some education and maybe it'll turn.
Yeah. I delete though this thing, I don't have a lot of that problem on my personal page because people know my views. And if somebody, if I'm like, I'm upset and people are like, why are you upset? Trump's going to change your life. And I start to educate and that person is having none of it, that's a delete. That's a person that does not want to hear me.
Right.
I've engaged, and I don't do it hatefully. Ever.
I've never done it.
I would never.
No.
People can see on
No.
my Facebook. I have never. If someone will poke at me, and I will be like, okay, I agree to disagree. I'm an agree to disagree person.
I call people bigots this week. I've just been calling it like it is. I mean, I'm exhausted.
Well,
with it.
here's another thing too that I would like, and if with our own community, this is a wake-up call for ourselves because we have so much discordance within our own community. You have like the transgendered wanting to leave the we just saw Lady Bunny's show on Friday night at the Stonewall. We needed a laugh. We were at the people.
It plays on Wednesday nights in New York. If you live in New York, go see it.
Yeah, like right now, it's really important for us to laugh, be with our friends, make ourselves feel good.
Yeah.
And she has this part, a set in her show where she talks about our community, and we have the transgendered people that are trying to leave. She's like, wait a minute, you guys are 3% of our 10%. We need all of you.
Everyone.
And all of us need to talk to each other, and all of us like this, like listening to you. I'm sure you just saying that to us, next time we go through that, it's not going to be so black and white, but we need to stick together as a community. When our show came out, you know who our least support, the least support we got? The gays.
Of course.
The gays didn't watch us. They didn't comment. They didn't support us. We're being supported by the straight people. We are the straight people's gay couple. And it's such an odd thing because all of a sudden then we're like,
So are you.
yeah,
With your
it's
show.
the same thing. It's like all of a sudden you feel yourself floating out in outer space because all of our friends, all of our associates, everybody from work, they're all straight because the gay community has don't do this to yourself. When finding Prince Charming, I don't care if you don't like the show, you do like the show.
Oh,
Gays are on
absolutely.
TV. Support
have to
these
support
people.
it.
You know, don't. I listen to people talk total trash about these people, and it's like, be supportive. You don't have to like it. Did I love the show? No. Lance is a friend. We watched every single episode.
I watched
we
to
tweeted,
support Lance.
Yes.
Absolutely. Obviously to support a relationship-driven show.
Show.
Footnote, I'm on WeTV now. Y'all gotta fucking tune in because you're clearly not tuning in. I know it ain't Bravo, pledge allegiance, but like
Because
follow
Bravo's
and
straight,
support.
though. That's the thing. You know, as a community, support your brothers and sisters, all of us. You know, because this is where, especially now, I hope this is a wake up call. Stand together and talk to each other
Absolutely.
about these things.
We
If you're
need to
going through
support more
something,
than
your
ever.
family's not. You know, have your friend. How would they deal with it?
Well, and how nice of you to post something so lovely on your mom's friends or whatever. Like she's only the kind people are going to get through to her and to teach her, and
yeah.
it's I
Because
don't
the
know.
second you make someone defensive,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Craig, but the second you say bigot, their ears turn off, and you know
Actually,
what?
and they go
there's
crazy.
certain people out there though that are like children that need to put their hand on the burner to get burned, and I'm burning them. Like they are devastated that they're like, no, I'm your friend. I'm your fan. I'm like, no, you're not. This
Yeah.
is why. And then it's the conversation because I don't delete right away. If
Yeah.
I see something negative, I
Same.
say something, and then that's when I say, no, actually, your vote did this and this to me, and this is how. Yeah, you wanted me to have kids and all that. You just made it impossible. You personally, you're the bigot. You hate. And then they're like, no, and I'm like, yeah. Even can I just say, my Aunt May, my grandma's sister. She's one of the last living relatives on that side of the family. She died a few days before Trump was elected. And her dying wish was to go vote.
Wow.
And she did. And she voted for Trump. And I have to say, the first thing Brandon said when we woke up after 2 hours of sleep the next day was, well, at least Aunt May got her dying wish. And I have to say, as much as I loved Aunt
Fucking
May,
Sorry.
yeah,
though.
fuck Aunt May. You
Hey.
just tried to destroy us.
I
but
hope you're happy.
do you know what I have to say? I love her dearly, of course, and all that. It does make her death easier. That's how serious it's become, people. Like, there's a little part of me that's okay.
I want to. We're pretty much out of time here, but you know,
Sorry, Aunt
we've
May.
made the. Hey, you know,
She's gonna haunt you.
we've made it pretty clear, like as members of the LGBT community, that this is something that's affected us. But I want to share a quick story of how it does not just affect us in here in LA in California. Got on the phone with a client. This was around, I guess it was Thursday. Still clouded in what everything was going on. And it was a woman who I'd never spoken to before. She was talking to me, asking about services and what we do. And I was talking to her and she said, wait, for some reason I thought you were in New York. And I said, no, I'm in Los Angeles. And she's like, oh, my kids have been asking me to move out there. And I was like, oh, well, you know, you live in New York. It's pretty cold, you know. And she's like, well, you know, we actually live in Chicago. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. We're just completely all off in our geography. She's like, well, we moved from Indiana previously. And I'm like, oh, you're just killing them with the snow, you know. And she's like, well, it's not really the snow. She's like, you know, I don't really know you, but I want to tell you that we're not moving because of the snow. I have my youngest son. I have 4 kids. My youngest son is this beautiful young boy who likes to wear girls' clothes. He likes to put on girls' shoes. He likes to play with my makeup, and I let him. And it was very hard for him to live in Indiana. And all of a sudden, I just realized, oh, God, that's right, because Indiana is just, like, horrible for gay people. And she said, you know, and we moved to Chicago because it was a little bit more liberal. And, you know, my son, the day after the election, came up to me and he said, Mommy, I'm scared. What are we going to do? And in that moment, I was just, I don't know this woman, and I don't know her or her child, but the fact that an 8-year-old boy who is clearly trying to identify with himself, and this mother, this obviously straight mom who loves her child so much, is telling a complete stranger that she's never spoken to that her 8-year-old son came to her crying because he doesn't know what's going to happen to his America, his country. And that the mom is like, how do I move to California? Because clearly it's better there. That's what people are feeling. This isn't just a gay thing. This is everyone across the country. If you have kids, if you have somebody you love, this is what's happening. And if an 8-year-old kid can understand the temperament and the emotions of America, then we have a problem, America.
Totally.
And we got to figure it out. So I'll leave it on this note. You know, where do we go from here, and how do we come together? And I agree with you guys. We got to support each other. Whether you're a woman, a gay person, a Latino, a Muslim, anyone who felt like they had become a minority post-election.
We all just got grabbed in the pussy
Yes.
by this election. So
I like you making us laugh here at the end.
let's get ready. Let's, you know.
I don't like it as much
Doesn't
as I
feel
thought
good.
I would.
We gotta let
doesn't
the
feel
pussies
good.
grab back, as I saw on a sign at a rally. Thank you all so much for
Yes,
tuning in.
thank
Thank
you.
you, Brandon and Craig, for stopping in. And I know you just got off a flight, so I truly appreciate
Thanks
y'all
for
being
having
here.
us.
These guys support you.
These will always support you. And thank you to everyone for tuning in and watching us on Facebook Live, especially right now. As always, head to finding-cupid.com to learn more about our world here. And, there's a little thing that came up this week. Wear a safety pin to show people that you are in support and you are a safe space. Have more information about what the safety pin means on finding-cupid.com. Go there and read about it now. And until then, have a wonderful week. Lead with love, guys. That's all we got. And support each other. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
In the future, talk radio will actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.